Hey everyone, it's Brandy from Brandy Janae's Bookshelf and welcome back to my channel. Today it is July 31st, so I decided why not go ahead and film my July wrap up. And I'm excited because I had a pretty good reading month, especially for me because I usually only read like 4 to 5 books a month depending on what I'm reading and how fast I'm reading. And last month I think I only finished 2 books. I'm really happy with my reading this month, especially because I had an over ambitious TBR this month. I think I had like 9 or 10 books on it this month, and then on top of that I had 7 other books on it for the booktubeathon that just finished, and none of those books were doubled up. It was like 7 totally separate books for that. And although I didn't complete all the books that were on this list, I got through most of them. I think I didn't read 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't read 4 books that were on my original July TBR that I made up at the beginning of the month. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the books that I read and my ratings, and I'm going to be going in the order that I finished the books in. The first book that I finished in July was Gemena by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff, and this is the second book in the Illuminate files. I gave this a 5 out of 5 stars, and I can't wait to get the finished copy when it comes out in October, and I know for sure that I will be rereading this. The next book that I finished in July is The Loose Ends List by Carrie Firestone. This book follows 17-year-old Maddie. She kind of lives this pretty normal life. She just graduated, or she's just about to graduate high school. She's getting ready to go off to college, and at the beginning of the book she's making this list of things she wants to do before she goes off to college. And then her grandma calls the whole family over and basically tells them that she's dying, and she booked them on this cruise for the summer, and everybody that pretty much she wants them all to go on this cruise. In the description it calls it a Death with Dignity cruise ship, and she kind of wants them to go on this ship to like spend that last moment with her family together, and for all of the family to get closure. So that's pretty much the overall premise of this book. I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. It was really enjoyable. It sounded really interesting, so that's why I decided to enter into the early review request giveaway for this, and I got it. And when I finally read it, I did really enjoy it. However, there were a few things that bothered me. I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars, and I do plan on doing a full review on this, but I like the overall concept of the story. The family dynamics, I really enjoyed that. I think the thing that really got to me was the romance. I don't want to say it was instant love, but I did feel like things happened too quickly, and honestly I didn't find the romance in here to be really believable. The next 2 books that I read are actually a part of the series. The next book that I read is Bad Romeo by Lisa Raven, and I picked this up from Book Outlet, and I'm happy that I actually got to it because I feel like most of the books that I got from Book Outlet I haven't picked up yet, just because there are other books either that I already had or that I've gotten that have been higher on my TBR or higher priority on my TBR list, so I've picked up those instead. But I was really in the mood for a new adult romance when I bought it, and when I finally got it, I read a little snippet I think of the second one, so I really wanted to pick it up and like get into the story. And I'm so happy that I did, because the right moment, this is one of those books where I picked it up at the right moment. I was in the right mood for this type of story, and I absolutely loved it. This book follows 2 main characters, Cassie Taylor and Ethan Hope, and it follows them. The story kind of goes along telling the story in 2 different timelines. It tells the story of where they currently are, and it tells the story of when they first met up into through how they got to where they are in the current timeline. And these 2 characters met at an acting school. Actually, they met at an audition for an acting school. And as like I said, it is a new adult romance novel, so obviously it's really heavy in romance, but it wasn't cheesy in my opinion. I appreciated the fact that everything wasn't easy. Everything didn't happen instantly. Everything wasn't instantly resolved when somebody said sorry or something like that. So I don't know. I loved it. I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. I don't really know how to talk about this without going into details and ruining anything for anybody. But like I said, I loved it. 5 out of 5 stars. The next book I read is actually Broken Juliet, also by Lisa Raven, and this is the sequel to this. And I felt like this almost could have been one book, but I didn't feel like it didn't work. I felt like everything that happened was necessary in these books, and I can't really go into this one too much because it's almost, no, it pretty much is a direct continuation of the first book, but there's more progression and there is some closure with these two characters. And I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars too. I am going to try to do full reviews on these, but I'm not going to make any promises on that, just because I feel like this is one of those books where honestly you kind of need to just go into it. If you're into the genre of no adult romance, I feel like you should definitely check these out. And this has become one of my favorite series or duologies or whatever. I say series because there's actually a third companion novel of one of the characters. The third book actually follows Ethan Holt's sister, and she made an appearance in both of these books. So the third one follows her, and I actually already got that. I bought that for myself as a birthday present, and I haven't started it yet. I might start it soon. The next book I read in July was Food Wars Volume 6. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I can't really go into this because it is the 6th book in a volume. Don't want to spoil anything in the series, but I will say that some old characters come back into the picture, and obviously some new characters are introduced, because I feel like in every volume there are new characters introduced and there are more battles. And I will say that in this one there is a new really big battle that there is a new really big battle that starts out that is happening school-wide. And that'll be all I'll say about that. But it has me really excited for the next one, and I actually got that one today. The next book that I finished in July is actually a comic, and that is I Hate Fairyland, Volume 1, Madly Ever After by Scotty Young. The comic opens up where she wishes to go to this new world, and like she gets there and they send her on an adventure, and she ends up getting stuck there for 27 years. And although her body never ages, but her mind matures and ages, and like she's there for 27 years, and obviously after being there so long she's really sick of it, and she had wished she could go home, and it's just a lot going on. And I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. I really did enjoy it. It was just something missing for me. The next book that I finished is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone by J.K. Rowling. And you guys, I'm finally starting the Harry Potter series, or at least I started it. I did read and finish the first book in the series. I gave this one a 4 out of 5 as well. I felt like I probably would have got a little bit more enjoyment out of it if I did read it when I was younger, which is why I couldn't give it a full 5 out of 5 stars. But I did still really enjoy it, and I do look forward to reading or continuing on with the series. And the last book that I finished in July, which is actually a reread, and I buddy read this with Tisha at Girl Writes Reviews, but that is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I actually just finished this today. I've been talking about rereading this since like the middle of May, when I put down A Court of Mist and Fury, because I could not remember the little details about what was going on. So I finally reread this. Thank you, Tisha, for the encouragement, because of you I finally got through this, because I have been putting it off for the longest.